Hey y'all, it's Allie and Oso, and we're here today to give you another pro training tip to help take your training to the next level. A question that I get asked a lot is about jumping, and more to the point, how do we keep dogs from jumping up on us? Jumping is a natural, normal behavior in the canine world, and it's us humans that don't like the behavior. So really it's up to us to teach our dogs that while that may be appropriate to do with each other, it's not appropriate to do with us. Now, whenever a client asks me about how to teach their dog to not jump up on them, I always reply with a question, and that's, is there ever a point in time that you do want your dog to jump up on you? And this is kind of a weird question, and a lot of people are kind of scandalized by this question. And usually I get, no, never. I never want my dog to ever jump up on me. And sometimes this is happening while the dog is halfway in their lap and they're petting him. So I get some conflicting information in those situations. So in those situations, I talk about Oso. Oso gives the best hugs. The majority of dogs don't like being hugged, but Oso will actually press himself into your chest and rest his head on your shoulder. It's adorable. And I love this behavior from him. It's one of the things that first endeared me to him. So instead of teaching Oso to never jump, I taught him that sometimes it's appropriate to jump because I wanted one of those Oso hugs. And to do this, I taught him up and off because sometimes it's not appropriate for him to jump up. Sometimes I don't want one of his hugs. And he's a big dude, so if he tried to hug the wrong person, he'd probably squish them. So let's practice teaching up and off. You ready?
Well, you are. Okay. All right.
Come over here. Good. Oso. Up. Good boy. Off. Good job. Up. Good boy. Off. So for most dogs, if you talk in baby talk, you pat your legs, you get them excited, they're going to jump up on you. And as soon as those front feet touch your legs, Oso, that's when you can click or say yes, whatever marker you're using, give them a treat. And as soon as the feet touch the ground, you can then click and treat. For some dogs, you may have to lure them to the ground, have a treat in your hand, and essentially point it towards the ground to get them to go off. So that's how I taught Oso that he can come up and hug me. Oso, up! Yeah, and we can get love and attention and all that good sort of stuff, but it's not always appropriate. Sometimes I don't want him to. Now, I see a few different problems when it comes to jumping, and one of the big problems that I see is how people respond to jumping when they don't want it. And it's sad to say, but usually we're reinforcing jumping when we're trying to not reinforce jumping. Usually what people do when they don't want their dogs to jump is we push them and we tell them no, and we're usually trying to get them off of us. And what that looks like from your dog's point of view is a play behavior. So to get Oso to play with me, a lot of times I'll push him. I'll talk to him. Yeah.
Good boy.
Yeah. And that's how we start a wrestling match. And it's really a play solicitation behavior for me. So dogs have trouble realizing that in one situation it's play, and in the other situation we don't want them to do it. We're kind of sending our dogs mixed signals, essentially. So in order to teach our dogs that that's not an appropriate way to get our attention by jumping up on us, we can ignore them. So instead of pushing them, talking to them, all of that, we can turn our head to the side. Or we can even turn our body a little bit, and usually they'll slide right off of us. Don't talk to them. Don't touch them. For some dogs, I won't even look at them. I truly want them to get that if they jump up on me, they're going to be completely ignored. For some dogs, you might even want to turn your back. However, some dogs find that as a play solicitation behavior on our part, and so it may make the situation worse. So we have to feel out individual dogs as far as that's concerned. Ignoring will work, but only if we're consistent about it. And that's really true of any behavior, honestly. Consistency is key. So if you have a visitor that comes over to your house and you say, my dog is in training, please ignore them if they jump on you. A lot of times people will say, oh, it's okay. The dog jumps up. It's fine. I love dogs. And they start loving on your dog. And they just undid all of your work, which is frustrating for everyone. So in those situations where your visitor's probably not going to follow your rules, simply put your dog on a leash, allow them to get a few feet in front so the visitor can still play and pet and all that good sort of stuff, but the dog can't get right up to somebody so that they can then jump. The last question that I get about jumping is about squeezing paws, kneeing in the chest, or behaviors like that. And I don't recommend using these methods. Often I see dogs that develop behavior problems down the road because of it. Dogs that now are uncomfortable with their paws being touched, or you can't do nail trims on them anymore. I've even seen dogs that go so far as to bite somebody when they're kneed in the chest, which I can't really blame them. It hurts to be kneed in the sternum, and I would probably bite you too if you did it to me. So these methods can cause behavior problems in the future, and that's one of the reasons that I don't recommend them. Plus, ignoring is so easy, and make sure that you reward the behavior that you like. Oso's just lying here nicely on the floor. I can just drop a treat right by his mouth. He can eat it, and he realizes that, oh, my mom really likes it when I just lie here in front of her. Thank you for joining us to talk about jumping today, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you.